Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday with your fertility specialist. Um, Viewers, thank you so much for always joining us. Thank you for liking, sharing with your family and friends. We really appreciate them. Today, we have a very important and special person on set, and is a very beautiful woman. The a consultant gynecologist, Dr. Jean. Thank you, ma, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. So most times, most of us don't know that our everyday choices like eating, exercise, stress, and all that can actually affect one or two things in our body. So today we are going to talk about how our lifestyle can affect fertility. Most people, when they say lifestyle, they often think about things like smoking, alcohol, and all that, but it doesn't just stop there. We have different other things as well that affect our system, or rather our reproductive system. And today on this table we are going to be discussing about lifestyle and fertility with our doctor here. So she's the specialist, so she'll be the one to give us more light. So sit tight, get comfortable, and learn. So, ma'am, like I said earlier, welcome. What's the link between fertility and lifestyle, and why is this so important?
All right. Thank you. So, fertility is not just about hormones and organs. Fertility has to do also with things we eat, things
Okay.
that go into our bodies, things we
Yes.
use on our skin, our daily activity. All
Yes.
those also contribute to fertility. And just like most causes of infertility,
Yes.
then some of them are not medical, some are modifiable. And these things we can modify through our lifestyle choices. It's so important because if we lead a healthy lifestyle, our fertility goals, our fertility wishes
Yes.
can be significantly achieved. Because some other things we don't do in life, some of our lifestyle choices actually could significantly affect our ability to have natural conception, can also affect the men's sperm quality
Okay.
in various ways. So it's a very important thing that we watch our lifestyle and improve our fertility.
Okay, ma. So I'm just hearing now that things we use on our body as well can affect fertility. So, what are some of those things?
Of things we use on our body,
Yes.
well, like chemicals,
Okay.
a lot of things some things we eat are not even healthy. Okay, we just talk about things we take in, like when
Okay.
we eat a lot of processed fats.
Yes.
Too much of fat can affect our fertility, our ability to natural conception, and all of that can
Okay.
affect the ovarian reserve, can affect the male sperm function, motility, and
Count.
all. Some chemicals, environmental chemicals, pesticides, toxins around can affect even increased exposure to radiation, like our phones we
Wow.
put in our pockets and all of that.
Wow.
But in life, everything has to do with balance. So most of this has to do with excessive and chronic use or
Of
exposure to
that.
some of these things. Yeah.
Okay. So, what specific lifestyle factor have the biggest impact on fertility, like both positively and negatively?
Well, as we said, lifestyle factors generally, they're things that affect can be positive or negative.
Yes.
So everything comes together to affect fertility in different ways.
Mm.
Well, for the big things that would affect majorly our lifestyle habits, such as things we take in. So I would say generally nutrition, not really nutrition per
Yes.
se, alcohol ingestion, cigarette smoking, poor diet, all these could affect your fertility. Then basically those are for diets, right?
Yes.
Of course, it means that if you want diet that would improve your fertility, it
Yes.
means you are taking healthy diets, green leafy or colored vegetables, things that are rich in iron, zinc, selenium, all these micronutrients actually, they help improve our bodies. There are some things we call some chemicals in the body. It helps, like what we call antioxidants. They
Okay.
help to make the body a better space for our organs to function properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just said green vegetable, or did you say green leaf?
Green leafy vegetables
Green leafy vegetables.
and
I don't know.
colored and colorful vegetables.
Okay. So we have different vegetables.
Yes.
Wow. I'm just learning, guys. So how can people better understand their own lifestyle choice and how they relate to their fertility journey?
Well, often a lot of time people, your lifestyle choices actually have significant impact in your fertility journey.
Hmm.
People need to understand, and that is one of the reasons we are sitting here today. We are doing awareness on
Yes.
our lifestyle
Hmm.
choices. Then people need to understand a lot of factors affect you. We've talked about poor sleep, stressors, exercise, and all of that. When you understand your stressors, the choices you have made and how they can impact on your fertility, I think that
Yes.
will go a long way for you to either curtail, improve, and
Yes.
work towards achieving your fertility goals. I think that.
Talking about sleep, I know that there's a amount of sleep someone is supposed to have as an
Yes.
adult.
Yes.
So, do you want to put us through that?
Well, poor sleep can there's a way it affects your hormone balance,
Okay.
affects sperm function, affects sperm quality, can even affect and it increases stressors in your body like cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and
Okay.
all these have a way of affecting your fertility in a way we cannot be very elaborate on this live. And so, sorry, come again.
Yeah.
So all these stressors about sleep
Yes,
can
ma'am.
affect. So you can sleep at least 7 to 9 hours. That would go a long way to improve
Oh,
your. An adult should sleep at least 7 to 9 hours. That will make for balanced sleep. Yes, you understand. A lot of persons are busy
yes.
working, but that is what is recommended by
Okay.
research and studies.
So whether you're trying to conceive or not, well, you should consider sleeping healthy and then having at least 7 to 9 hours sleep every day. Just try it for yourself. It will be nice. So how do we define a healthy lifestyle for fertility purposes? What does that look like in our practice?
Well, a healthy lifestyle is generally is a lifestyle that understands what it needs to improve your fertility wishes.
Yeah.
A healthy lifestyle is a lifestyle that you live that increases your chances for natural conception. A
Mm-hmm.
healthy lifestyle is a lifestyle that would help to improve your sperm quality and other factors that affect conception pregnancy rates when it comes to regarding sperm
Yes.
and all of that. So understanding that is when you know all of this, we
Yes,
now
ma'am.
start to curtail. If you are a chronic alcohol user, considering that we know that cigarette smoking, alcohol
It's
injection,
bad.
all these things, well, they are bad, but chronic use
Chronic
basically,
use.
like everything in life, we have to talk about balance. And so, chronic use of alcohol, they
Yeah.
have a way of affecting your fertility journey. Excessive smoking for the women can reduce the ovarian reserve. That's ovarian reserve can even decrease the risk of penetration by the sperm cells
Wow.
to fertilize the eggs. Then for the men, it can affect the genetic material. That's what's the makeup of the sperm cells and all that. So all of this put together can actually, they are all the things that you need to understand. When you understand this journey, you can now say, okay, if I curtail this, if I
Yes.
improve my exercise,
Yes.
moderate exercise is very important. Increase my sleep, identify your stressors, do daily meditation. This would
Yes.
go a long way to help improve your.
So the exercise is only moderate. You don't have to do excessive.
No, no, no. Moderate
Just
exercise is very important because
is
excessive
okay.
exercise too has a way of affecting your ovulation, hormonal balance,
Okay.
and that is what we see commonly. Excessive exercise, while not doing the exercise alone, same thing. So we need, so for people that are overweight, with little exercise, they can reduce some weight and also increase their chances for fertility,
Fertility.
ovulation, hormonal balance,
Yes.
and all of that. While for those that have normal weight, Moderate, consistent exercises would help also
Okay.
just keep them informed, and it won't be too much and be too less for them.
Okay, that's nice because most people, some of us that used to go to the gym and sleep from morning to evening in the name of exercise, let's shall know that. Let's all know that it's just moderate exercise. We don't want excessive exercise here. So we've been talking about other factors like exercise, diet, and other things. So let's talk about the dieting. What dietary recommendations are helpful for fertility? What would you recommend as food or diets that are good?
Well, I think we had mentioned a few of what
Yes,
is necessary.
green leafy
Yes, green leafy
vegetables,
veg
guys.
and colored vegetables. Then we need because some of them contain folic acids, folates, and all this will help increase your hormone balance. We
Okay,
also need food rich in iron, some micronutrients like selenium, zinc, and all of that. They are very
okay,
important. So all of this you can get from whole grains.
okay,
You can get them from like organic foods, then plant proteins more, not refined foods. All
okay.
this will go a long way. Those are kind of recommended food, but again, as we always talk, we preach balance.
Yes,
Your diet should be balanced, should be rich in even diets rich in fats,
yes.
lipids, but everything should be moderate.
Balance.
Moderation is key when we're talking of diets, not
Okay.
necessarily abstaining from this and
And
excess of that. So we
yes.
need a balance
Oh,
of natural foods, preferably.
okay.
Processed sugars, or refined fats, they have a way of giving us excessive fats in the body, and
Okay.
fats is also known to cause hormonal imbalance, have what we call insulin resistance.
Resistance.
Insulin is the yes, well, insulin resistance. Basically, what it does is just it affects your hormonal balance and also affects fertility generally.
Okay. That's so insightful. So, are there any food or supplements that should be avoided, or you want to encourage us?
Well,
Even though you talked about
basically, since we
some
have talked
already.
about foods, it means
Let's
that
talk
we
about
avoid unrefined, but some
yes.
supplements like coenzyme Q10,
Coenzyme
omega
what, ma?
Q10, omega 3
Okay.
fatty acids, folic
Okay.
acids, and some of them are just supplements that would help boost fertility. Like sometimes we use some of these supplements when we are managing some women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Those things are like we have what they call some free radicals. These are tiny molecules or chemicals in the body that can
Yes.
affect your organs and increase the stress on those organs, what we call oxidative stress.
Okay.
But some of these supplements, they are like anti-stress. They help fight some of these free radicals or what we call them and help
Okay.
improve your chances. So
Okay.
yes, coenzyme Q10, selenium, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids. They are very good.
Okay. So that's that about dieting and some few supplements that she just mentioned. And I know that we spoke about fertility. I mean we spoke about, sorry guys, sorry, we spoke about dieting and exercise. But the exercise, is there a particular one that you want to recommend, or just stretches, just some normal
Well,
one?
again, we are not going to end this. Our discussion has to be doing. We have to keep talking about moderation because just like everything, too much or too little is a problem. So moderate, consistent exercises, as we have already said, but some exercises are recommended, like
Okay.
brisk walking,
How is that?
just walking fast.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. Then we talk about yoga.
Oh,
We talk about aerobics.
okay,
Even dancing is a form of exercise, and that
okay.
can improve your life, your
So,
fertility
dear
choices.
viewers, if you don't like dancing, start dancing. At least it's the most easiest form of exercise. Just play
Yes.
some music and just start dancing. So, we spoke about alcohol, smoking, and all of that. How does that, have like consumption of that? You said it have to be in a very large amount before it affects fertility.
Yes.
So maybe just taking one bottle of it is fine. Is it fine? It's
Bottle of
not
what?
of
All right.
alcohol. Yeah.
So generally alcohol, like you said, it has just like not just that it affects the heart, the
Yes.
liver, and also the brain, can also affect fertility. And now we're talking about chronic use. But when we talk about alcohol consumption, we're not just talking about alcohol again, we are now looking at amount,
Okay.
type, and then so that you have to the quantity of alcohol consumption, and that is where chronic use is, because studies have not shown that maybe acute or just single infrequent use of alcohol, but there are people that but it's shown that if you take alcohol with strength of at least greater than 12%, anything more than that, at least daily or even more than three
Yes.
times a week, would affect your fertility function. Alcohol increases your fat content, and we
Okay.
have talked about fats being affecting your hormone
Hormonal balance.
balance, ovulation. For the men, it can affect their sperm quality, structure, function, and movement,
Okay.
and all those would impact and fertility.
Okay.
Alcohol,
Okay. So
basically.
before I forget, I heard that caffeine as well have like an effect on fertility.
Yes, caffeine has effect on fertility, but it's not widely known.
Okay.
And consumption again has to be excess
Excess.
of at
Okay.
least they said 5 cups in a day or 500 grams would be significant consumption of caffeine. And it's been shown that it can affect implantation,
Oh.
it can cause recurrent miscarriages,
Wow.
it can cause babies to be small. So all of
Wow.
those things, yes, but those are things that are not very clearly explained by research, but
Okay.
some documentations about caffeine. So I mean excessive intake, greater than 5 cups a day or something, greater than 500 grams.
Okay. Because I know some nurses used to take caffeine like 247. So I don't know. Nurses out there. They'll just be holding one bottle or the other, but inside is caffeine. So guys, let's be mindful of how much we consume caffeine, alcohol, and also cigarette. So what are the effects of stress, both mentally and physically, on fertility?
Well, we've talked about stressors generally.
Yes.
Yes, because with stress, poor sleep, of course, stress generally will cause weight loss, can affect your hormonal balance. It can cause a menstruation to be irregular. And
Yes.
with irregular periods, we have anovulation. And anovulation, we now have no,
What's
women don't
annihilation, ma?
ovulate. Yes, with irregular period, they don't ovulate. So their
Okay.
periods are not regular. They don't release eggs. Ovulation is just an ability to release eggs every month by every woman. It's very
Okay.
important in the
Yeah.
menstrual cycle. So
Okay.
when you don't release eggs, it means that you cannot get pregnant, because sometimes for every pregnancy you see, it's an evidence aside for assisted reproductive techniques. Yeah.
Okay.
So stress can do that significantly. So and also with stress again, I mentioned what we call stress hormones.
Mm.
I talked about cortisol.
Cortisol. Yeah.
Cortisol is a stress hormone. I talked about insulin resistance. All of these have a way of affecting your hormones. And you see, so that the lifestyle we adopt significantly impacts in virtually every facet of our lives.
Okay. So after knowing that all of this affects fertility, I mean stress in itself affects fertility, what are some of the ways you you manage stress? How do you advise my viewers to manage stress?
Well, stress, as we all know, it's very important to manage stress, and you need to identify your stressors. So by identifying your stressors, you find a way of, if it's your work schedule that is a lot, you can help. You can ask for help. You can give out some jobs for people to do for stress management. You can also sleep more, rest more, healthy diets, listen to music, watch movies occasionally, yes, and talk to someone if you need to talk to someone, because a lot of times we just have a lot going on in your head. I know you just need one person to listen to you, and that would go a long way, making you feel a lot relieved and all of that. So identifying your stressors basically would go a long way. If you identify them, you're able to talk about them, walk your way through them. For a
Yes.
couple, talk about it, walk through them together, and you see that
Okay.
would
So we
improve.
talk about diet, we talk about supplements, we talk about exercise and all of that. So
Listening to
now,
music,
yes, listening to music,
and
guys, and
also
dancing.
and also praying.
Yes, pray. Pray every night. So I want to talk about weight. I want you to help us, expatiate about weight, um, overweight and underweight. How does it really, really like affect fertility?
Again, too much or too little, as we had mentioned, that it affects the frequency of your menstrual cycle. It can make women not to see release eggs monthly,
Mm,
and that would affect your chances of natural conception. For women that overweight, for overweight women to have a lot of fats, and that can also cause what we call insulin resistance, as we've mentioned, and their chances of ovulation too is
okay.
reduced
Reduced.
significantly.
Okay.
That's why we say for women that overweight, as little as 5% decrease in their weight can impact on their
Okay.
fertility journey,
Okay.
cause spontaneous ovulation, spontaneous pregnancy, and also improve fertility for them in a long way. For these overweight women too, they also have other challenges. If pregnancy eventually happen because of the weight, you can have recurrent miscarriages and even increased risk of medical conditions in pregnancy. That's why moderate weight is very important. So
Okay.
work towards
So
that.
if one is underweight, you're advising the person to put on some weight. Let me know
Well,
if I'll start exercising.
yes, for underweight, so now you don't have to do so much for the weight loss. Eat
Okay.
healthy. The idea is nourishment.
Yes.
Eat healthy, build on healthy weights, and that would go a long way. If you see women that are underweight, a lot of them have missed periods and all of that. It
Okay.
has an impact significantly, and this is commonly seen among young people where they have eating disorders,
Mm.
where some have this body dysmorphic challenge that they feel
Yes.
I am too big, so they eat after a while, they force themselves to throw the food out and they starve and starve and starve and
Hmm.
starve. So most like we are talking underweight people, generally the group of people we are looking at are people that have these eating disorders and all of that. For a
Okay.
woman that is not so big, she just eats through healthy diets and all of that and she'll be
That's
fine.
fine. Okay. So if you are overweight, you should be looking at reducing some of your weight. And if you are underweight, you should be looking at eating healthy to gain at least little. I'll look into that myself. So I know that you talk about sleep as well. So how sufficient you talk about how sufficient and poor sleep can affect fertility. So what can people actually do to improve their sleep? Do they have to do other things? I know some people when they are very stressed, they come back, they find it very hard to sleep. Most of us are working with insomnia, lack of sleep in the night every day. So how do we manage that?
Poor sleep.
Yes.
Well, you have to drop your work at your place of work.
Okay.
Yeah, and those things that are stressing you mentally, whatever it is, you need to talk to someone, take a hot bath or a warm bath,
And pray.
take a warm calming tea,
Yes.
just anything to improve. Listen to music and rest. Turn off the light. Then excessive use of phones and all at night before bedtime
Bedtime.
has a
Yes.
way of affecting you and also your sleep hygiene.
Okay.
I think that should also be what looked into. And basically, remove
Okay.
stressors and you'll be fine.
So I read somewhere where they were talking about how your bedroom should be to encourage you to sleep. Your bedroom should only be for sleep, not for any other thing. So when you come back home, you don't come and lie down on your bed, let them bring food for you there and all of that. So you should know you should keep your bedroom. This is advice from your host today. Keep your bedroom in such a way that it's only for sleep, guys.
Yeah,
Don't go there
yes,
and be doing assignment and other things. So let's know that it's bedroom for sleep, so that when you lie down there, your brain will automatically know that you're there to sleep. Does that
yes,
make sense, ma?
yes, it does.
Okay. So what are some environmental factors that you think can negatively affect fertility?
Well, we mentioned toxins, environmental toxins like pesticides,
Mm,
plastics in the environment, and all
yes.
of that. Those can significantly affect especially for the male sperm cells,
Okay.
the genetic materials, and also the movement of the sperm cells. So
Okay.
when we have those deficiencies, achieving pregnancy will be a significant challenge.
Okay. So since you're a consultant gynecologist and we mostly do fertility here, so for couples, how should couples navigate fertility challenges as a team?
Well, as a team, basically, you have to identify it as a challenge, work towards achieving results.
Mm,
So you discuss the problems. If you need to speak with someone, you do that. If you need to speak with your gynecologist, you discuss that with your gynecologist. Work through your stressors together. Discuss your challenges with conception. What have been found? What are the
mm,
options? You discuss your options together, and that would go a long way to improve your success. So the main word here is to work as a team, not the female going to look for care, the man going this way. If you
yes,
work as a team, look for care as a team, I think your chances of succeeding is a
be
lot
higher.
higher.
Okay. So how would you advise them to support each other through the emotional and physical aspect of conceiving? Because I know it's a lot for them.
Well, infertility is a significant cause of anxiety for couples,
Mm,
not just pressure from the society and family members. So it means you have to create a space where both of you understand that this is a journey we're walking together. You speak to yourselves. So you go to the hospital and they say, "Oh, she has a blocked tube," and you are all over the place. Yes, I knew I'm there. I have no. My problem was it was you all the time and all of that. No, you have
yes.
to be someone that she can lean on, and if it's the man or whoever, because infertility challenges are almost 50% for both parties, could be the man, could be the woman. Then for modifiable risk factors or factors like environmental factors, lifestyle, diet, and all of that, you can work together as a team, be each other's watchdog. Like,
Okay.
you want to do excessive alcohol, you want to take lots of alcohol, this person is helping control the other, you control yourselves, and that would go a long way
Okay.
in helping couples navigate through the challenge and the social pressure from people about
Okay.
their infertility.
So I just remember something. I know that it's quite random out there. So I wanted to know there's this thing they call PID. Most young girls, you hear them say they went to see the doctor and they told them that there's fluid somewhere in their womb. That's always the narrative. There's fluid somewhere in their womb, and it leads to infertility and stuff like that. So, what would you say about that?
Well, some we know we are talking about lifestyle. Yes, we talked about infections earlier.
Oh, okay.
So in when you have risky sexual behavior or
Yes.
high risk sexual behavior, your risk of acquiring infections very high. And those infections have a significant way of affecting the lining of your womb, the tubes, and all of that. Even
Okay.
for the men, can affect production of sperm cells. So for women that have all of that, it means that if you want to prevent all of those, you must reduce your risk taking appetite for unprotected sexual intercourse by using condoms or either abstaining or just be faithful to one partner.
Okay. So, are there any specific lifestyle choices that that couples should consider when they are trying to conceive?
Well, lifestyle choices from the head to the toe, like you take out stressors, counsel each other on how your stressors, healthy diets, exercises, cutting on alcohol intake, cigarette
Yes.
smoking, good sleep hygiene, um, well, let's say positive
Yes.
approaches to your weight, so that you don't have too much or too little, and all of those. So those lifestyle choices you have talked about, even exposure to environmental toxins,
Yes.
pesticides, even plastics, something as little as microwaving your meals in plastic bowls. There's a way these plastic chemicals get into the microenvironment of the follicles or the eggs, and
Okay.
affect fertility, affect their quality. And also, there's a way it even causes early menopause, cigarette smoking. So it's just a whole lot. So it
Mm.
means that if you're walking through your lifestyle, it has to do with everything, even stress, diet. what you take, what you drink, healthy water taking, and all of that. So basically, as we said from the introduction, it's not just about the hormones and the organs, but what we take, what we eat,
Eat.
what we wear, and the places we
Yeah.
enter. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a beautiful one. So viewers, when this topic, I hope that we've learned from it, and I hope that we're going to share this with our friends and families or people that you know that they are struggling to conceive it, because this might be of help to them as well. So thank you for always sharing. Thank you for always liking our posts. And you can also reach us if you want more, because I'll advise that you always talk to your gynecologist. And seeing that we give the best care here at house, you can always reach us in any of our social media platform. We have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook account as well. So you can follow at House Hospital and we'll answer you. Or you can come to our hospital. We're located at Fave Road, Fave Refuel Road, just south, Plateau State. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do this again next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.